Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Shorty SX and welcome to Quickscope Tips Episode 1 of the Ghosts season. So today we'll be looking at one of the most important choices you have to make before you even think about starting a snipe or quickscope, and that is what sniper to use. So I'll be comparing the two bolt-action sniper rifles, the USR and the L115, since they're both become quite popular and, well, understanding your weapon in every possible detail is the most important part to becoming a good player. So today I'll be showing you just that. Everything you need to know about the USR and the L115 and how they compare. I'll be showing you gameplay, accurate stats, kill zones so you don't get hit markers, how the scoping mechanics differ between the two, and my final choice and why. By the way, as this video took a tremendous amount of time to test everything and to edit, please consider leaving it a like and a favorite if it helps you. So, let me introduce the guns. First up is the USR. Now this is the fast, agile sniper in Ghosts. It somehow seems to have taken the best out of the MSR, the Ballista, and the M40 if you go as far back as COD 4, and combined it into one, but not just visually, but also in the way it handles. And without attachments, this sniper kills in one shot as long as you don't hit the arms or legs. Crotch shots finally work consistently. Next is the L115. Now this sniper bears a striking name and visual resemblance to the L118 from Modern Warfare 3. It somehow feels more of a mix though between the L118 and the patched version of the DSR-50 from Black Ops 2. It is very powerful, but it also lacks speed. Without any attachments, it will kill in one shot as long as you aim above the knee and away from the arms. But to get a better understanding of all of this, let's compare their actual stats. I just want to point out as a side note that I got all of this information from Sympathic.com. The link is at the bottom. While I did many of my own tests, they are the ones that got the exact stats from the game code, so they definitely deserve all the credit. Now, the biggest difference between the two snipers here has to be the fire rate. How long it takes you to rechamber that bullet with your bolt. The USR has a fire rate of 51 rounds per minute, which happens to be equal to the Ballista from Black Ops 2 before it was nerfed. Now the L115, however, has a much lower rate of fire at only 40 rounds per minute. That is the equivalent of the DSR-50 from Black Ops 2 after it got nerfed. You know, at the point where everyone was going, oh, it's too slow, I can't play with it. That's what the rate of fire is here. This is much slower than the USR, unless you use the reload cancel trick, which I will actually discuss as an option and teach you how to do later in this video. Now the USR also has a larger magazine of 6, while the L115 holds 5. While this might not look like a huge difference if you choose to go with the extended mags, like many do, the USR will then hold 9 bullets while the L115 only 7. In terms of movement speed, the USR lets you move very fast, the same speed as an SMG. The L115 is somewhat slower, but not quite as slow as an assault rifle. It's somewhere in between, but perhaps more towards the SMG area. Now, when it comes down to their aim down sight speed, or their ADS speed, both snipers zoom in with the exact same speed of 0.4 seconds. That also means something else, but I'll get to a little bit later. The last notable difference is that the L115 has a slightly faster reload speed, especially if you wait until your magazine is completely empty before you reload. Now, as you may see, the USR is winning the race so far, but we've only been looking at the speed. So let's look at the damage in the actual kill zones for both of these snipers. So to start with, let's test them out without the chrome line attachment. So the USR is a one-shot kill from the groin upwards, while the L115 will kill you if you aim for the knee or higher. Of course, keep in mind that the arms, starting just past the shoulder, will never be a one-shot kill regardless of which sniper you use or what attachment you put on it. Now the interesting thing here is what happens once you add the chrome lined attachment, which is meant to increase damage, but also increase the kick or recoil of the weapon. Now notice that with the attachment, the kill zones for both snipers become identical. However, there is a little bit of a mystery here because, as you can see, the lower left leg and the upper right leg are marked as 2-shot kills, and that's not just my lack of editing skills, but something incredibly odd that just seems to have been programmed into the game. For whatever reason, shooting someone in either one of those areas will never be a one-shot kill if you have the chrome-lined attachment, but shooting them in the opposite leg will. I've tested this a ton of times, and at first I thought it may have something to do with which leg was in front, which one was in the back, but it does not, and hence I'm led to believe that this is possibly an error in the game code, which might at some point be patched. Now, assuming I'm right, and of course if you happen to be watching this in the future and it's patched, then hey! But the correct kill zone with chrome lined equipped should be the entire body, excluding just the toes and arms. As a fun fact, by the way, the target's lower left heel is by all means an Achilles heel, because if you shoot someone there, it will definitely kill them if you have the attachment. If the patch I was talking about happens, of course, it will end up being both heals, but for now it's pretty funny, I think. Anyway, the conclusion here is that if you choose to use the chrome line attachment, the snipers become identical in terms of damage. Next, let me show you the actual scoping mechanics, as any part of it should be pretty much imprinted into a sniper's memory. In my experience, the path the scope takes while zooming in tends to affect how people tend to use the sniper, although technically it shouldn't, as it's simply an animation and not how your shot is determined in any way. But still, I've noticed that some people are simply more used to and more comfortable with certain motions. So here I've actually tracked the motion of the scope so you can see how they take slightly different approaches. Now, to me, the USR's quick centering feels more suitable for pop shots, while the L115's horizontal movement seems to be more prone to drag scopes. But again, the animation really has no effect on the actual bullet, but just your perception and perhaps the timing of your shots. So, now before I give you my final thoughts, let me show you how to actually increase the L115's rate of fire. It's called riddled cancel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the way it basically works is you fire a bullet, then immediately press reload. The instant the magazine clip is starting to pop out of your sniper, sprint to cancel the reload, and your next bullet will somehow instantly be ready. As you can see, this is a way in which you can make your sniper fire much quicker. However, I'm not really a big fan of this technique, and my main reason for that is because performing in between shots requires you to stay relatively put, without sprinting. And as I like to move around and depend on speed for my survival, it's not very practical for me. However, I can totally see it being useful for other types of playstyles, so here it is. And before someone tells me to go use on the go, by the way, that perk stops sprinting from cancelling the reload, so it won't work for this at all. So what is my final verdict? Well, as we saw, the USR has a better rate of fire, a larger clip, and gives you faster movement. Oh, and it also has a more of a balanced kick in my experience. On the other hand, you have the L115 with a slower rate of fire, but you can still use the reload cancel trick to increase that, and at the same time you get better damage without attachments, and it reloads mags a little bit quicker. However, considering that the chrome line attachment makes the damage and kill zones on both snipers identical, which means you can literally have the USR's mobility and maximum damage only at the expense of one attachment slot, well, I have to go with the USR just because it's perfect for me and it fits my playstyle. Now naturally you guys can disagree, and if you do end up going with the L115, I would suggest that you not use the chrome line attachment, and here is why. Since the L115 already has a bit more of an upwards kick, the attachment makes it kick even higher, which got a bit annoying in my experience. The second reason is because it will give you a more stable kill zone, because both the upper legs and knees will be a one-shot kill. That is of course unless they patch the upper lower leg mystery thing I showed you earlier, but for now I'm assuming they haven't. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you look at all the details and decide which sniper is the more applicable one for you. I hope that you learned something, and I hope you stick around for more quickscope tips on Call of Duty Ghosts. But anyway, I'm Shorty SX, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.